Hello and welcome to the Preseason Party Bonanza League Tournament. We are back with the semi-finals and grand finals of Division 2. Starting up, we have Monash Sirens versus Zaggers. I'm Eric Lee, and I'm joined by... with...
Hi guys, I'm Vignesh KR Christian. You can see very creative league names we have. And yeah, we're in draft already. We see Graves, Ori, Akari, and Casio banned. So what do you think about this, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, what do I think about this? Yeah, it's just standard targeted bans, I guess. Um, I know for a fact that Squishy is a Casio main. It's something she loves and has been doing very well on, so they're taking that away from her. Same thing from Oriana. They're just taking away as much carry potential from the mid lane as possible. And on the opposite side, we're seeing jungle bans and a targeted Akali ban. Seraphine also another target ban. Tormora, meaning I'm expecting maybe a Lux pick right now for the Monash Sirens.
Yeah, sounds good. We did see Squishy's Casio yesterday absolutely demolish. I think it was their sister team.
It was.
So it's definitely a good idea to put that one straight with the ban hammer. Don't want to face it.
Yeah, they do take the Ornn in the first rotation. One of the stronger champions right now, and one of BB Panda's preferred champions at the moment. It would have been either Ornn or Malphite. Ornn obviously offering a little bit more to the team than a Malphite, but we do see the Jhin being picked up for Zaggers. I think one of the ST ADC picks of the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Jhin just fits into a lot of team comps really well. He can provide long range support with his W and his ult and stay quite safe while the actual support just goes in with the rest of the team. And you generally don't have to worry about your Jhin not being in the fight in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And we see an immediate Vi lock-in, so Vi definitely a good choice into a mobile ADCs. Qs over, presses ult, the Jhin will probably get one shot if enough people are focusing on him, which should be good with the Lux lock-in. So you have now the Vi ult, and then you can follow that up with the Ornn and
Oh,
but we
Master Yi. Yeah, it's not Division 2 without a Master Yi pick somewhere.
This is one of the spicier picks we could see. You know, it's not something you generally see in competitive League of Legends, but who knows? I mean, it is Master Yi into a Lux, although I'm not entirely sure how the Yi is going to shred through the Vi and Ornn, but I think Veggieball did play Vi yesterday and she went Lethality going Eclipse if I'm not mistaken, so it could be a more squishy lineup than it originally seems.
Yeah, as a Master Yi main myself, there's potential for Master Yi to activate himself and snowball, but without that snowball, Master Yi is going to have a rough time. As soon as Master Yi goes in, Vi can just ult Master Yi, and Master Yi is as good as dead. And there's nothing you can do about that. If Master Yi is ulted by Vi, I believe he gets put into a state of, like, he can't Q out of it. I'm pretty sure he gets locked. He kind of gets rooted-ish. Anyways, he just can't Q. So, yeah.
I thought he could Q if it was at the end of the Vi ult to cancel.
At the end? You can't Q It's weird. I swear there's a weird interaction with Vi and Yi where you can't Q.
I'm not a Yi player, but I'd assume it's somewhat similar to the Z ult interaction where you can ult around the end and then the Vi knockup just doesn't go through, so you're not CC'd. But you know what? We'll find out during the game.
Yeah,
Vi will probably be ulting Yi at least one time and Yi might have Q and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We see a Darius lock-in, so quite an aggressive mid-range kind of team comp with the safe ADC that you want firing from the back. And they're leaving the mid for counter pick, which is quite interesting considering I believe Squishy is the highest rated player on Monash Sirens. So saving counter pick to counter what she brings out might be their plan coming into draft to shut her down.
Yeah.
As we see a Sylas lock-in. Sylas does have about, I'd say, two good ults. I don't really count Master Yi ult as a
I
great
mean,
ult to
a
begin
very
with.
fast Master Yi run. I don't know, man. Like
I mean,
that.
yes, he does get the bonus movement speed, but he can't really utilize the other aspects of the Yi ult, you know?
we might see an attack speed Silas.
I mean, that is one way to play it, I guess. And even Darius ult isn't really that great because it's based on the hemorrhage damage of his
Yeah, and we
passive.
we see a LeBlanc, which is a great pick into Silas. Given the situation, they're not giving Silas any real big ultimates. There's only I guess like Nautilus ultimate, Darius ultimate are the only ones that really have potential. But I think both teams actually drafted quite well. Given the circumstances.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good draft. I probably give the slight edge to red team. They do have a very coherent team comp. Everyone pretty much wants to go in, except for the Jin who has the long range follow up anyway. So it's a very synergistic comp in my opinion. On the blue team, they do have sort of a pick comp. You have Ash, you have Lux who can provide CC from long range, and Orn Vi Silas can follow up quite quickly. So they might be looking to be more skirmish heavy, and red team might be looking to just dive the carries, look for flanks, that kind of gameplay. So I think warding will definitely be important in this game because if red side gets behind blue side, they're just all gonna die.
Definitely. I think knowing the Sirens myself, they've somehow gotten almost all their comfort picks. BB Panda, Veggie Bowl, BB Panda on Ornn, Veggie Bowl on Vi, Seven on Ash, and Amora on Lux. These are all champions that they actually favor. So I guess seeing all those mid target bans has really allowed their team to pick everything else that they want. I personally don't think it was necessary to ban the Oriana, the Fizz, and the Syndra because I guess Squishy has a pretty large champion pool to choose from. So these target bans could have been used for Seven's Ash or Veggieball's Vi just to make it really difficult for them to play the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think their plan was definitely just shut down mid lane, the rest will fall into place, right? Maybe they think their bot lane is fine into whatever matchup, and they just want to avoid a mid lane snowball getting out of control and play through their jungle. This could be their plan because they have picked quite a strong top side with Yi, Darius, LeBlanc. So we'll see if Nautilus even roams up to join. It should create a potential for a snowball from that side of the map and just take over the game from there.
Definitely. What do you expect to see from the Master Yi this game?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like bot lane could determine quite a lot of the game. You have a Nautilus into a Lux. If the Lux gets hooked into a Jin W into a Nautilus stun, she's probably dead. Similar to how we saw the Blitzcrank from yesterday into a Seraphine, right? If you
Definitely.
hook, if you hook one of the squishy champs in bot lane with the follow up from a Jin, they might just die. And if that happens, even if you hook them once and they don't die, you have permanent bot lane prio. You open up the Yi, you open up the support to roam with the Yi, probably go mid, gank the Silas, put him even further behind because he's probably going to be behind into a LeBlanc. It's a range versus melee matchup. You know, I want to look at the bot lane realistically for this game. Although as an ADC main, I might be slightly biased.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Sorry, just saw the football on one of my other screens right now, and there was a goal. Ignoring that, we are watching League of Legends today and not football. We should be done with the spectator delay soon, which is exciting stuff. I'm really excited for this mid lane matchup. To be honest, watching the Silas and the LeBlanc, it's a matchup of a lot of movement. They both have their dashes, or would you call Silas's E a dash? It's kind of a dash, right?
It's kind of a dash, but the key difference right now as we load up into Champ Select is the ignite on LeBlanc versus the TP on Silas. So LeBlanc is looking to go quite aggressive, and I wonder if Silas might start something like a Doran's Shield just to get as tanky as possible, as early as possible, and survive the early laning phase, which generally isn't that great for Silas into a champ like LeBlanc. So
Yeah.
that's what I'll be looking for. I probably would go something like the Doran Shield, but Corrupting Potion is chosen on Silas. That's perfectly fine as well. It's a common item. And we see both teams pinging the bot lane Tribrush. So this might be interesting.
Yeah. I'm at 25 seconds now. How about you? 26,
Same.
27? Alright,
Yes.
assume we're synced up, but both teams, well, red team is heavily going towards the bottom side, looking for a potential invade perhaps. Lux, the bot lane does know they're there, but is that enough time? Oh, bit of a slow flash has come out. Hook comes out onto a Morahat, or Morahat will be taken down, and first blood goes to Master Yi.
Okay, I mean you asked how's the Yi gonna do, I guess we found out.
That is not how you want to start.
Exactly, but just taking a stock of Summoner's Belt, but we see Lux has nothing. She used Flash and Heal. Ashe used Flash. Nautilus used Flash and Ignite, and LeBlanc used the Ignite. So, the early kill pressure I was talking about in mid lane, not really that high anymore, but you definitely take those. Especially since now the bot lane has no mobility abilities on two immobile champions. The only thing left is an exhaust, which I'm not a fan of exhaust in this matchup.
Oh, and we have a DC going into the game. As soon as blue buff spawns.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but you know what, guys? That's why we have pauses in tournament games. It's to help teams not get screwed over by disconnects like this. Like, it's unfortunate, but it's the best fix we can have sometimes.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate how that started. Seven Anamora did have vision of them coming into that, but instead of walking out and then flashing over or just continuing to walk, I think they had I guess a few early game jitters, nerves, and they just flashed towards their side of the jungle. They flashed left as opposed to over the. Yeah, did you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
feeling. I would have liked to see them, I mean, the correct play would have been toss a ward in the bush, run, try to flash over the wall once you see the Nautilus hook come out as a reaction, right?
Yeah.
They preemptively flashed, and that cost them because Nautilus, like, not only did they preemptively flash without putting down a ward, they both flashed in the same direction in an area where it was basically just a straight line.
Yeah.
So Nautilus flashes over Qs, hits one of them, Jin misses the W, it doesn't matter. And we see Darius taking a trade as my computer freezes slightly.
Same for me. And we see BB Panda getting chunked. There is 5 stacks on the Darius. Conk procs and BB Panda is on about 20% of her health. Yeah, that's just not what you want to do in the bot lane. When you do see an invade, just most of the time you can just walk away. If you early flash, you're creating an opportunity for the enemy to just abuse that, because they can flash and follow up. So generally speaking, you want to flash to react or just walk away and see what they burn first.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, the top lane trade, it looked pretty bad when we first saw it, but it's okay. Wait, it's actually
No, it's really bad. It is.
No, because I saw Darius at about half HP, and I saw the pot wasn't there, and I thought it was a more even trade, but I just realized
Another
okay,
pause.
Matthew is having some issues. He can't see the HP bars, which is yeah, it would be an issue if you're playing an assassin and you can't see your opponent's HP bars. I think that definitely warrants another pause.
Yeah, what's your bet on Master Yi's build this game? Will he go Duskblade or will he go the attack speed Kraken build?
Don't know. I feel like Duskblade is just so annoying to play against, and there's realistically just one tank, right? On this team, it's going to be
Definitely.
Orange. You expect the Vi, if yesterday's game was any indication, you expect her to go Eclipse again. So she's not going to be very tanky. So, it's realistically just the Ornn who's going to need the attack speed build to chew through. So I think going Dustblade here is definitely fine, as we see LeBlanc take a pretty good trade and takes a tower shot in return from the mid lane.
Yeah, I think as rough as the situation looks for BB Panda, I think she'll be happy with just sitting under tower and waiting for the jungler to come across. Meanwhile, Seven does get rooted up, chunked out, and dropped to about 200 HP.
Yeah, exactly. And we see that's kind of the thing with Nautilus and hook champions into the mobile ADCs like Ashe and supports like Lux. You hook them once and voila, lane's over sometimes.
Yeah, at least for this lane, if you do get hooked by the Nautilus and you do have a Lux on your side, you do have that shield, you can snare them up as well, and that trade damage can be worthwhile. Meanwhile, in top lane, we do see BB Panda and Freelancer fight, but Freelancer does take that last proc and does take BB Panda down for the second blood of the game.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that.
Ringbear does find Veggie Bolt in the jungle. Ringbear does take that Grump, and Veggie Bolt can't find a way to get away.
Oh, this is getting bad from bad to worse. The Master Yi is 2-0, the Darius solo killed your Ornn. And yeah, no, I was just about to say, as we see Squishy go in the mid lane.
Squishy does get rooted. Wango will win out on this trade, but nothing else happens from that. They just go back to laning. Squishy might want to push in or take as much CS as possible and back to regenerate some HP. Oh, there is Corrupting Potion and the Cookie though, so Squishy does have lane advantage right now. Tower shot onto Wango, ignites onto Squishy. Wango does get that kill onto Squishy.
That was very close. I feel like Squishy might have flashed forward. I'm not sure.
Squishy didn't flash at all. It was the E forward.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant to say she probably should have flashed forward to try, especially once you see the ignite, right? You just, but she did get rooted up, and it was very unfortunate. And this is really not looking good for Monash Sirens. The top lane's losing, although you do have to consider the fact they probably do outscale. They have a good team fight. They have an Ornn. Darius later in the game becomes somewhat irrelevant, but he already has an XP lead, a CS lead, and the giant wave crashing into him, which is just going to help grow his lead further. As we see the CS differences across the board, top lane's up by 11 with a huge wave, jungle's up by 18, almost double the enemy jungle. Mid lane somewhat even, a few more minions here, so it should even out. Bot lane's up 13 CS, and they're up 4 kills, which leads in a 2.6k goal lead.
Yes, Squishy does get rooted again.
You know what? These are some really good LeBlanc chains.
Yeah, these chains are doing absolute work.
Yeah, I mean, you want your 5th pick, counter pick, mid lane matchup to be pretty good, and you know what? If this is the LeBlanc he pulls out, it seems like it's doing a very good job of deserving, the 5th pick.
Oh,
as we see,
Darius does ghost away BB Panda. Oh, hook comes out for Freelancer. Flash comes out on BB Panda. They do dive, and Ringbear gets the kill.
Yes, very well played. You got the Ornn flash. You did burn both Darius' summoner spells though for that, and we see Veggie Bolt looking to perhaps start a dragon, but she is 2 levels down in the jungle. She might just want to take the crab and go back to farming, try to catch up a little bit. As we see Ringbear walking through mid lane, so wanting to contest the crab, but it's already got.
This is not looking good. Ringbear can go into the Sirens jungle and do anything they want. It's just a difficult situation to play into, just because of Yi's just 3-0. It's just looking really, really difficult. They are warding everything up. They're denying vision in the Siren jungle, and they're just taking away buffs from Veggie. Veggie's only level 5 right now. I think she just got level 5, and It's gonna be a while until she gets that level 6.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I just want to compliment the red side. They have been moving together as a team. They came in today with a really good plan. You know, level from draft actually. They went, okay, we're gonna shut down the mid laner. We're going to level 1 invade the tri-brush, and then we see with the move into the red side jungle, it wasn't just Yi. The bot lane pushed it out. They both moved. Mid lane moved. Everyone moved over to get vision control for the Master Yi, steal the buff, back off, collect the dragon, and it's all just very well coordinated overall. As
Root
we
for
see
Amora. Speedy goes in and someone heal. Darkest healed for Speedy, but we go back to the basics, just to lane phase. 7, ooh, Lux onto the Jhin, hook onto the Ashe, rooted. Now we look for Darkest, looking for a final hit. Speedy Boy does have a proc onto 7. That is Jhin ult, just taking some minion damage.
Yeah, and you know, this is what you get when you combine pretty good teamwork with impressive laning phases as well. Everyone seems to be on the same page. They're all doing what they need to do, and they're just winning out their lanes in their own matchup.
Don't forget, it's superior draft as well.
Oh yeah, I mean the draft. Yes, it's probably superior draft. Like it's somewhat debatable. The draft is much closer than any of the other factors that we.
It is closer, but it showed the strength in the bot lane. Like everything has started in this game from that bot lane. That little invade, that getting Master Yi ahead, that all led to this game state. But I guess the huge communication factor and just decision making that Zaggers is I guess doing as a team is really influential. Everyone is denied so much CS. Aside from the mid lane, we see in the top lane, I think that's a 40, maybe close to a 50 CS lead in the top lane right now. 30 in the jungle, mid lane is even, and 20 in the bottom lane. It's about 100 CS across the whole team. Veggie Bowl will find Wango, ult Wango, Squishy may not get the last hit. Veggie does get that last hit. Meanwhile, in top lane, Freelancer and Ringbear are diving onto BB Panda. They will get that kill. Freelancer may go down. No flash. Oh! And 7 does get that KS. That was a beautiful ult, by the way, from Ashe.
Yeah, that was, you know what, like, it's one of those kill steals where you're like, man, why'd you take my kill? But also, that was a really good Ashe ult. What?
Yeah, I didn't see that Ashe ult come out, and I was like, cool. that was a really cool one. Props 7 there.
Yeah, we see Sirens getting back slightly. Definitely a great play in the mid lane by Veggie Ball. You know, she's definitely had a rough go at it. She's been invaded. Her laners aren't doing well. But, you know, she pulls out something, makes it happen in the mid lane with the ult. And top lane dive just went a bit awry. That's kind of what happens when you dive in on sometimes. He's a very tanky boy. He has an ult. He has a knock-up. And he will keep you in place for long enough to kill you if you're under tower.
Yeah, we see Veggie Ball just go back to jungle, trying to get as many camps as possible to stay, I guess to stay relevant in this game. But we do see Master Yi go for that Kraken build. Meanwhile, Wango is being engaged on by Squishy. Squishy may get that kill. She does spot the correct target. Squishy is looking for this Master Yi behind. Heals comes out. Does steal the LeBlanc ultimate. Not sure if it's enough. Squishy still looking. Oh, gets Wango in the end and almost takes Ringbear down. Drops Ringbear really low. Veggie versus Ringbear. Level 7 versus level 9. Veggie may take this. One more auto. Jhin does get that auto. Oh, Veggie gets the shutdown on Master Yi. Ringbear goes down. And Jhin ult, not enough to kill the Vi.
Yeah, that was really well played by Squishy. Just almost overcommitted at the end, but she still got it. The LeBlanc taking the last dash back. Not sure about that decision, but I think she might have seen the Vi down there and she was like, you know, I have to take this and try run up. And it just, unfortunately, Squishy was able to capitalize, get the kill, even trade a lot of damage onto the Master Yi, got the Vi to get that kill, and now the game is evening up slightly for Monash Sirens.
Yeah, both of the champions that Sirens need to get ahead are Squishy and Veggie Bowl on the Vi and Silas. They're getting a little stronger. I think Veggie has already gotten two reasonably big shutdowns, so it's looking to be good for Vi, and there's assassination potential on that Master Yi or Jin. But I think the big problem in this game is going to be that Darius. Darius is absolutely huge. Gets that ult on BB Panda, but BB Panda will get a kill in return? Yes, she does. Master Yi does smite down that dragon. Veggie goes in with the Q, does get rooted, will get killed, and Master Yi will take down Amora Heart on that Lux. Ringbear is looking for 7, but decides to just take that ward and encourage the team to take towers instead.
Yeah, that was a quite interesting play up in top lane. I feel like Ornn could have turned it a bit quicker, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was one of those things where the enemy's wallet's just really
Squishy
big.
does spot out Ringbear right there. Squishy will look to take down Ringbear. Misses the E. Ash ult comes down on Ringbear. Ringbear does use the meditate. Meditate coming out, healing 60-70%. Squishy does get that kill at the end of that meditate. Dark S will take 7 down. Meanwhile, Wango does engage in the mid lane. Then we're looking back at Squishy again. Squishy is level 10, looking for the level 7 and level 8 bot lane, but Squishy without any... Oh, Squishy does have mana. Squishy does decide to just leave it alone.
Yeah, that was an interesting flash coming up from the Ashe. Did you see? I think she flashed into the bush because she lost vision of the Master Yi, and that ended up costing her big time as the enemy bot lane did pick her up in the end. We look back at top, there's a 2-level discrepancy, but the jungles at least seems to be catching up in terms of level. And Vegetable, you know, slowly getting to farm while the Master Yi is dying around. So we'll see. Squishy definitely was in the right place at the right time there. Picks up the Master Yi, definitely worth the 1-for-1 trade with the Ashe.
Yeah, no doubt at all. It's really interesting to see that there's been a reasonable gold lead mounted in that bot lane. There's two shutdown golds, like 300 gold in the bot lane for the Nautilus and that Jin. I think Squishy is going to be excited and might look to go bottom soon just to shut down some more members of the enemy team.
Yeah, that is definitely one possibility, but as we see, Lux and Ashe are pushing up into the Jin Nautilus lane, so it's not really a viable option, although you would expect the Jin Nautilus to eventually get the push and priority with the initiation potential. Just taking a stock out of the items, we see Red Team is actually quite far ahead because the 4 mythic items are completed on their side. They have Divine Sandra in the top lane, Kraken Slayer in the
Oh,
mid lane,
hook onto 7. 7 will get rooted. Ultimate for Jin. 7 will go down to Speedy Boy. Jin ult just there to scare Lux away, but Amora is still on her own. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Master Yi and Darius are there together. There may be a 3v2 in the bot lane, whilst Amora Heart on the Lux is there defending tower, all on her own.
Yeah, Amora trying to, but there is another wave coming in.
Root comes out, flash into the Zhonya's under tower, will get rooted again, and Speedy gets the final hit onto that Lux, and then Freelancer in the top lane, engaging onto BB Panda, gets that hook in. BB Panda is looking to knock Freelancer up, doesn't get the second hit off. Veggie Ball versus Freelancer. Freelancer does get that heal off the Q. Ringbear looking... Oh, Squishy is in the bottom side now. Does get that shutdown on the Nautilus. Squishy may be looking for more. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Veggie Ball takes a kill onto Ringbear, diving onto that Vi alone. I assume that there was a little knock-up on the tower. Squishy does look for Wango. Wango does go back. Squishy predicting it, I guess. And Squishy does let Wango go. I don't think there's too much she could have done, except for E over the wall and E back just in case. But Wango will get spotted by a ward. Ashe does have ultimate out. If Ashe gets this ult, no, Ashe does not. Ashe had an opportunity to ult either the Jin or that LeBlanc there, but they opted not to do that for now.
Exactly, and Master Yi is admitting in chat that dive was a turbo int onto the Vi. Plus, he definitely, if they were going to dive, he definitely should have been with the Darius. There's no way one person's not diving while the other dives. But the initial play was really good. They picked up the Ornn, and then it's just a little bit of overcommitment. And in the bot lane as well, the hook was really
Okay,
good.
Freelancer onto Squishy right now. Squishy does E into Freelancer. Squishy will flash away and use that Proto Belt to get away with that flash. And Squishy does survive just for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, I believe a dragon is coming up. Ringbear and his team Zaggers are ready to take away that that third dragon. And we may see a fight on our hands or a potential steal. Maybe from a Morahat. Oh, Squishy does TP down. BB Panda does have TP as well. They are trying to get vision here. Vi does go in. Q comes out. Ultimate, Lux does steal that dragon. And there's lots of damage coming out. BB Panda does get that ult in the backline. 7 will go down. Amora goes down to that Darius ultimate. BB Panda and Squishy all on their own, triple kill, quadra kill, and that will be pentakill for the Darius Freelancer. Absolutely huge with a pentakill in the semi-finals of the Preseason Bonanza Tournament.
Yeah, I think we've got 2 pentas on stream. That is cool. I'll take that any day of the week. And we see Ashe finally completing a Kraken Slayer. Ornn still doesn't have a mythic. It is a sad life up in top lane for BB Panda. And honestly, there's realistically no chance they were going to win that fight, just based on the item discrepancies and the fact that Darius ended up in the front line, just rampaging through it.
Yeah, I think the right decision would have been to try go for the steal with the Lux ult and the Ashe ult, etc, etc. And then just leave it. It is only the third dragon. It's not necessarily the time that you want to overcommit onto something and potentially give someone a pentakill, but Freelancer all on his own. Freelancer 3v1ing. Freelancer does go down. 1,000 gold going to Squishy, and Squishy is not feeling very squishy right now. Squishy is getting fed.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe that was the plan. Give Darius the pentakill, give the 1k shutdown to Squishy.
It's genius.
That's like 3.5 kills right there in one. But we do see Darius going back, getting the Dead Man's Fate along with a pickaxe and a
Ringbear does use ultimate onto Squishy. Squishy does E out. Ultimate. Ashe gets a beautiful ultimate on Ringbear. Ringbear does go down 2-7. By ultimate onto Speedy Boy. That's a 3 for 0. That is a 3 for 0 for the side of Monash Sirens. Well played to them. Jin ult just to take down Squishy's health, but our Lux shield will stop it. Vi with a beautiful Q. Wango engages onto Squishy, and Squishy will go down to Darkess's Jin bomb. You don't see that often.
No.
You really don't see people going down to Jin bombs.
I believe it was a Jin W that sniped him at the end as well. That sniped Squishy at the end, sorry. But yeah, that was definitely a very worthwhile trade for Monash, as we see Wango just hiding in the bush. Okay, he's got found out. It's unlucky, but you know, it was a good attempt by Wango. They are controlling the bot side river. Sorry, bot side jungle, not the river. There's no water there, my bad. And we see Darius just pushing it in, still extremely far ahead of everyone else. Probably in the game, not just his lane. And Ornn, I honestly, I'm scared to check how much gold this Ornn has.
One is on 4.7k, Darius is on 9.5. That is a 5k gold lead in the top lane alone.
The Ornn has 100 more gold than the Lux and 1.3k less than the Nautilus. That says something. When your champion, who's supposed to be up in top lane and farming, has about the same gold as your support and is down to the enemy support.
Yeah.
That is not a fun time for BB Panda, but you know what? Ornn is still Ornn. Even if you're behind, you just try leech some XP here and there, get your items under your belt, and then just hand out upgrades to your teammates and hope they carry you. Plus, the Ornn kit is just designed to be very gold efficient. Yes, you've seen Ornns do a lot of damage, ridiculous amounts of damage, one-shot people when they're ahead, but even an Ornn that's behind still has the 4 of the 4 club, still has the
Oh,
amazing.
Baron started. Sorry, before Baron started, before Zaggers, Ringbear does make that call, or the team makes that call. They do look to take Baron. Mango is there on his own, looking to do as much damage. Sonya, Flash comes out, Lux ult comes out. Meanwhile, Baron will get taken down. Ringbear does get that smite off. Squishy does steal that Nautilus ultimate. Squishy does get rooted. Zonya comes out. Ringbear. Squishy all on her own. Oh, and there's a re-engage Ringbear. Squishy does take Ringbear down. BB Panda will die eventually. By ultimate onto that Darius. Darius not tanky enough. Veggie Bowl is still searching for another kill. Speedy Boy is low. Oh, Speedy Boy does miss that Q onto the wall to get away, and a Morahat will take down Speedy Boy. This is not really what you expect when you take a free Baron to go down 3-1. And especially when the person that goes down is the BB Panda on 5k gold. That's, that advantage goes to Monash Sirens. They're gonna take Dragon.
Exactly, they're gonna pick up Dragon, and that's what I meant when I said an Orin that's behind is still an Orin. You have Hold the Fort God, you saw the knockup, interrupt the Master EW, got the resistances off, and they managed to one-shot the Master Yi, and then, you know, Darius late game, you're really not getting to an Ashe, even if the Ashe just has one item. Just Ashe passive just hard counters Darius in general. You want to be running towards the enemy, and Ashe is just slowing you with every damn auto attack, and it gets really frustrating to play against. So, you know, we see Monash Sirens getting some really good fights, but Red Side did pick up the Baron. We'll see if they can transition this into any towers, because it feels like the gap is closing slightly. It might be a 9k goal lead, but a 9k goal lead at 25, if the game drags on to 30-40 minutes, it's not that bad to be 9k down at 35.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Like,
I mean,
would you rather a 9k goal lead at 20 minutes, or would you rather a 9k goal lead at 25 minutes? Like, it's all relative, and BB Panda will go down, but Squishy will look for a re-engage. Does go back to even. Squishy does Zonya's re-engage onto that onto that Darius, but Veggie Bowl will go. Oh, BB Panda, everyone's down. My words are all gone. Freelancer going absolutely huge, and that's a 3-for-1 for the side of Zaggers.
Yeah, and as we talk about the comeback, Red Team finds stray members of Monash Sirens in the jungle. I feel really bad for this On. Flashed away, got pulled back, got murdered, and Squishy and Veggie Bowl trying to make something happen. You know, at least Veggie Bowl got the kill onto the Master Yi, so he's not running around stealing their entire jungle, helping his team some more. But, you know, it looks like it's definitely one inhibitor going to drop in the mid lane, and possibly an inhibitor tower in the bot lane, although we do see the Orin defending it.
Yep, I think they're gonna save the inhibitors today. I think it's just the towers going down, and that's okay as Squishy and Veggie Bowl comes back alive. I think there was potential for Sirens to win that fight or get a reasonable trade. Unfortunately, they did target Freelancer, who at the end of the day, despite Darius being an absolute like tank, he's still a tank. He's still fairly strong, and you can't kill him without that Ashe there.
Exactly, and you might want to see some healing reduction as well, just because the Darius Q gives him so much health back. Divine Sundra also provides some amount of healing, and they actually did try to focus the Master Yi, but he ended up ulting and flashing away, so he managed to survive. Oh wait, I forgot.
He did die.
Oh wait, Master Yi died. Okay, I'm getting a bit confused because I remember Master Yi flashing, but I think he died in the re-initiation.
Yeah, he flashed away, he survived and decided to come back in.
Right, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But, you know, the initial commitment onto the Master Yi cost them quite a bit, because when your low health target gets away, now you have to turn onto a Darius that's pretty much full health. And you see Orin finally getting his mythic item, immediately getting it upgraded to the Forge Fire Crest. You know, every level from now on, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again today, every level from now on is just a huge fight for each of his teammates. If they can drag it out long enough, and they can hold formation while they fight and CC the Master Yi and the Darius, I feel like blue team might have a small chance of coming back into this game.
Yeah,
As we
definitely.
see-
With those
Yeah,
two
we
dragon
see-
takes as well, that's another 10, 12 minutes of life they have within them if they play it right. And taking the game to 40 minutes, that gold lead becomes less and less important.
Exactly, and we could argue that blue team got the better dragons. You know, I'd rather a mountain dragon over a cloud dragon and an ocean dragon any day of the week if it's in a late game situation like this. You know, you talk about the effectiveness of cloud dragon. It's realistically only good when you can use your ults proactively. So it's probably the best on Nautilus. Things like Jin, LeBlanc, you know, you tend to always have your ult available when you need it anyway, when the fights are up. So Cloud Dragon, definitely not as good as having bonus resistances against things like Darius.
Oh, Wanga
LeBlanc.
goes into Amora. Amora gets chunked for 60% of her health. Jin ult onto Amora, getting one of the hits on, but Jin ult does not do enough to take down Amora.
Yeah, that was definitely a good attempt. Amorhat pushing her Zhonya's really quickly, so we'll see.
I'd like to see Sirens slow down this game and potentially give inhib and let those minions come towards them. This is not a fight they want to start right now. They can, and they may win this, but it's all 50-50 right now. All ultimates go down onto Darius. Darius will go down. Ultimate comes out on Ringbear. Ringbear goes in. This is a 2 for 0 for Monash Sirens right now. Squishy steals the ultimate, uses that Nautilus ultimate onto that LeBlanc, and they keep chasing. Squishy keeps chasing Veggie, looking for that Q onto that Jin. Does get some more damage off, does get that slow off, and Jin goes down. Shutdown goes to Jin, and that is Baron or Dragon available for the Monash Sirens. Oh, and a root comes down for Lux. This may be an ace. This will be an ace as Wango goes down to Squishy. Ace for Monash Sirens. 5 for 0 for Monash Sirens against Zaggers. Oh my goodness.
12k gold lead, what? Anyway, you know, just to dissect the fight, it was a pretty good fight. They isolated the Darius. You know, I was telling you about how Darius into Ashe is a nightmare, and you see why. The Darius was just sitting there, couldn't do much. And the moment the Master Yi popped in, 7 amazing Ashe ult. That was really well played. She held it for so long. The Yi came in, immediately got slammed in the face with an arrow, got CC'd, got one shot. There goes the damage. You know, a LeBlanc's not going to tear through a Vi, a Silas, and an Ornn by herself, even with a Jin next to her. Then they all just had to run. Veggie flashing, picking up a 1000 gold shutdown, and then Amorhat hitting a beautiful Q onto the LeBlanc, who was trying to sneakily take away the chickens, getting them a third mountain dragon. They're getting really tanky at this point. You know, I remember talking about how Vi and Silas aren't really tanks, haha. Now the Zhonyas, you know, all those bit of resistances are being amplified by 3 mountain dragons. That's 18% extra armor and magic resist on every champion on blue team. And if they get the 4th mountain dragon, it might just be game over for champions like LeBlanc. LeBlanc is honestly not a champion at this point. She needs a void staff. If she gets a void staff, she
Ringbear will get spotted out. Squishy does find Ringbear will get taken down. Ringbear does go down. Lux ultimate, Ashe ultimate misses. Amora on her own. Amora will stun up Freelancer, but Amora will use the Zhonyas and will eventually go down to Freelancer. Freelancer does get that first ult proc, goes on to 7. Freelancer all on his own. That is a 4v1 right now. Freelancer does get away with that fast movement speed. He will run. Run. But now that was a 1-for-1 for both teams, and we should see both teams look to reset and maybe try and do something towards that Baron side.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, a jungle for a support, you take that trade any day of the week if you're a blue team. You know, unfortunately for Master Yi, I don't think he got the Q off in time to stop the Vi out, the Silas stun. The CCs just... The moment a CC hits you and they chain it in, you're not going anywhere as a Master Yi. You're too squishy for that. And, you know, the Yi pick started off great. It might not be ending the way they thought it would be. So, we'll have to see. Monash Siren showing some great teamfight decision making. You know, choosing their fights wisely in the later stages of the game. And this is just something that happens when you play as a team for long enough. You eventually get into sync with your teammates to the point where your fights just get really clean.
Yeah, one of the things I'd like to see is maybe Master Yi changing the build path a little differently. Right now, he is just way too squishy to do anything substantial, and perhaps towards the fifth or sixth item that Yi gets, he may be able to survive team fights. But he's taking so much damage from that Baron just as if. Imagine, like, you don't expect the Baron to kill Yi, but it's looking bad. But I do think Monash Sirens know the Baron is being taken away, and they're just going to look for a fight right here. Wango on his own. Wango will go down. Oh, gets away in the last moment. And this is a complete fight. Engage onto Darius. Amora uses everything squishy, does Zonius onto the spot, and this may be a win for the Zaggers. There's nothing BB Panda can do right now, and Monash Sirens unfortunately take the wrong fight.
Yeah, that was just slightly mistimed. You had the Orin TPing in as the Vi went in. If the Orin TP just slightly earlier, you could have layered the Orin out. I feel like that's probably what cost them the fight in the end. You know, they had a great initiation onto the Blanc. It was a great call by Red Side to pick up the Baron that was uncontested. You know, even if Master Yi took half his health and damage, a Baron to Baron. And they got initiated on, so they had the ability to focus fire down one member after another. You know, everyone went in one by one, and that's GG. Well played to Red Team, and you know, Monash Sirens, great effort, almost made the comeback, but in the end, they end up losing this one.
Yeah, GG to Zaggers